Hey, welcome back to my channel. I appreciate the comments. They generate some interesting conversations, and I appreciate that. Today, we're going to talk about 3 different snippets of conversations. The first is the jail phone call with Lori's sister. The second is talking about what kind of chances you think and sort of speculation of Lori taking the stand in her own trial. So that's the second. And the third one is transparency in the courtroom. And we'll try to keep this to a smaller topic because that can be very philosophical. Okay, let's get started. Our jail phone call. If you're watching the trial, you already know that Lori's sister called her when she was in the jail. And at that time, Lori had been isolated from any information. And her sister came on very strong. I'm thankful that she confronted her. She was probably the best prosecution that could have happened in that short of a time, and to listen to Lori's response. So we won't go over the whole jail call, but let's go over just kind of the presentation of how these sisters presented themselves. Lori's presentation and demeanor was calm. She kept her composure, and I'm sure it was valuable to her to be able to speak with her sister. But surprisingly, Lori chose to not allow her sister to break her barriers that she's built with this cult mentality. So, excuse me. At one point, I want to kind of highlight that her sister gave her the opportunity to explain herself. And being that passionate, that much conviction, and powerful, she did open it up for a dialogue. And Lori's attempts at a hook into pulling her sister into her narrative was, you've told me about, I believe she said it in a way that, you've told me about your spiritual experiences. So obviously she is wanting to go there, and she wants her sister to have some clarity, some kind of insight into this is such a larger plan than what is happening right now. So like she was wanting her sister to think beyond that and to maybe engage her sister in an area that she felt like she would gain back some power. But she used her power in a way of disengaging, reminding her sister that the jail telephone call was being recorded. And I'm almost surprised we didn't hear her typical response that Lori gives when she's confronted, especially by her best friend Melanie, of, I'm sorry you feel that way. And just brushing it off into, you don't have the information I have. You don't have the God-ordained information that will say this cult is swimming in, immerse themselves in. So that's just one little thing I wanted to point out. Now let's talk about the chance that Lori will take the stand in her own defense. We're hearing from a lot of attorneys and people making predictions. The call came in. So we'll keep filming. I'll call them back. And most people are absolutely saying she would be destroyed, that any attorney is going to advise Lori to not take the stand. And I think, just my own personal assumption with looking at the way that these people are relating to each other and the value they place, or Lori places, on men versus women. If she happened to have a woman attorney, I believe that Lori would press in and let her know that she can explain herself. I've got to be on the stand, and just keep with that narrative. But having male attorneys might impact her a little bit. My guess at this point is I'm at the point of thinking 30% that she might take the stand. It would be grueling and it would be eye-opening. But if she did, she might take the very stoic, calm type of limited responses. So it'll be interesting. I think when we were watching they pronounce it Alec Murdaugh. That's it. I always say Alex Murdaugh. But we were quite surprised that he chose to take the stand, and it made a huge difference. It gave us a great deal of insight in looking at his character and the schemes that he used, the behaviors that he typically accessed to try to convince the judges, primarily the jury and audience, that his narrative was true. So let me know, what percent would you give? I've heard some people are absolutely 100% feel like she will take the stand when you research and look at all these cult views. But 30% is about all I'm going to give it right now, especially since the trial has been so strong and brutally honest. Her first real opportunity or to see the facts. And the last thing is transparency. This could be lengthy, but I will work on keeping it short. Our government is paying, at this point, it looks like $3.6 million to have this trial. And it's taxpayer money. So in a democracy, a free and liberated democracy, we have a voice, and transparency allows the truth to show. When you hide things in darkness, which is part of, I believe it's Judge Boyce, and if I'm not mistaken, he is part of the Church of Latter-day Saints, which is very prominent in that area. They do operate in some levels of secrecy. And so I think that lends into a darkness and power prevailing, and difficult things happening. So I'm all about transparency, and especially in trials. Of course, federal trials are not open to cameras in the courtroom, and maybe one day that will be changed. I think that we deserve, as the people of our country, we deserve the right to watch and learn from the legal process. So thank you again, and I appreciate all the likes and the new subscribers. I look forward to our conversations because you have important things to share. And these are the 3 topics I wanted, excuse me, I wanted to touch on today. And Aki didn't start wanting to be in the conversation. And those of you that know me, she's my talking parrot, and she's wonderful. She just loves to be with me and engage. And so I'll bring her on. And so I hope everybody has a wonderful day and enjoys this beautiful weekend. And I look forward to hearing from you.